Hello everybody, it's me again. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. Got this little project that I'm going to be working on. Let me move this out the way real quick. And so all my lighted models I didn't make them battery powered. I made plugs, and these were the only plugs that I had available at the time, and I had a bunch of them because I bought them for another project, and you know, you get a bunch of them. So then in the things that I do, let me move some of this stuff out of the way here real quick, give you kind of a timeline. So I got a lot of models, including this Bandai Walker that I lit and I made, you know, because I don't like putting batteries in things. Because I put them on my shelf and I like to be able to turn them on and off, and without having to deal with batteries. And I don't have a problem with batteries and people that use them, and but in doing so, I'm like, well, how am I going to light these things while they're on my shelf? So I Frankenstein together this thing. Okay, and yes, it is just as ugly as it looks on camera. And I try as I might to hide this thing, it just would not cooperate with me. And it's always been kind of a thorn in my ass on my display shelf. So I am going to delete this, though I am going to keep all these barrel plugs, male and female. I am going to keep those because they are good. And but yeah, it did work. It did work because I had a 5-volt supply that had a barrel plug, and I had one of these. And obviously, right here is where it went. And I had a little switch, but I had to walk all the way across the room to turn the power on to these lights. So over time, I'm like, I need to figure out a way that I can plug in all my lit models and power them on like when I come in the door to the train room, because you know, again, my stuff is it's a man cave, but I call it the train room because the bulk of what's in that room is train. So, there's a lot of crud in the way here. So anyway, so what my plan is I'm going to use USB. Now this one's going to be the main one. This is where the power is going to come in from my power supply, and I do have an idea for that I didn't think of earlier. But I'm still going to use this because my power supply that I'm using is as a barrel plug, and it's not USB. But this is going to plug into a remote controlled relay switch, and I'm going to keep the remote control you know, by the light switch. I might just stick it right on the wall. That way when I turn the lights on, I can kick that thing and all my lit models will light up, and everybody's happy. So this is going to be the main distribution one. So I have enough for 3 more of these, and these are the ones that are actually going to go on the shelf. Now I might get some different ones, but for the time being, for the models I have already, this is going to be where did I put that junk? Right here. These USB cords are going to go. So the theory is, let me put that over there. These are going to plug into this, and I'll have one of these on each of my shelves. Now I have like one full shelf, and I'm working on another. So, but yeah, these will plug into this, and I can turn them on and off each shelf, and I can turn on and off each thing plugged in if I so choose. But what's the point here? It's just the way this one came. There you go. So the plan is, and I got mini USB 3-foot cords. Now these are going to go from this to each model. Okay, it's going to go to each model. I'm going to plug it in here, and then the other end's going to plug into each model. Now what I got for the models is I got the USB sockets. And what I hope will work out, and I've got some little tiny PCB boards that I can mount these on. And then for like this one, I'm going to find a way to either mount it in this area here. You know, I might have to carve this out a little bit, but it's going to be on a little USB board. And I'm going to run these wires to this and glue it to this, either on top or underneath. I'm going to try to hide them as best I can. That way I can plug the other end in here, plug it in here, this will be plugged in here, and Bob's your uncle with the remote, which is still on its way, but that's a different project. Damn, I got a bunch of crud here. Anyway, so that is the plan. So what I need to do is, and I know on these, yeah, they're damn you know, they think they're making these things easy, and they are not. I like to reseal things, but sometimes things annoy me, and I just open them up permanently. So, come on out, you little bastard. Alright. So the plan is, come here. I only got 10 of these for right now. I don't have 10 models altogether yet, but they're fairly inexpensive. So, as you can see, let's see, pointer. So, alright, so it's got five little pins. Alright, a lot of those are for data and whatever, but the power, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm going to check it, these two ends, these two here, and I don't have a zoom on this camera, so bear with me, but the two end pins, here and here, are positive and negative. Now I got to figure out which one's positive, which one's negative, but that's easy because I have my voltmeter. So I plug them in, find out which one, so I plug this in there. Like so, like it so. And right, so that's the plan. Plug it in there, plug it into a power supply, and then I'll find out which ones of which these two are the positive and which is negative. And then, you know, then I'll solder this or mount it to my little PCB board, and then it's going to be on here. That way I don't have this big ugly cord sticking out. I'll just have this little socket sticking out, and depending on, and this is just this one because it seemed like the easiest one to mess with right now. I know that would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? But more than likely it's going to be down here somewhere. But that's the plan, and I've got several models I got to do. So, alright, so let's see, and, okay, so off camera, because I didn't need to show you guys me fumbling with this, so off camera, I took this, plugged it in, well, took this, plugged it in, and then with my voltmeter I realized that I was right. The two outside ends are the power ones. This is positive, this is negative as you look at it. So my plan is, like I said, I'm going to solder some wires and fix it that way. So let me see here. I'll be right back. Little mini PCBs. So, anyway, let's see, is this over here? So these are the PCBs I'm going to use, and you're like, yeah, that's not going to fit. Well, what my plan is to use these little bastards. I'll put this on here somewhere, hopefully. And then I'm going to cut the board down. That's my plan. We'll see how that works. I've got a bunch of them. So as long as I don't tear the boards themselves up, I could probably solder or mount one of these on the board. Hopefully, like I said, this is my plan. And like cut the board. I've got a little saw that works pretty good. So I'll actually solder this to the board, and then just to give it something solid to be on. I mean, I could, I suppose, but it would be easier to work with this, I think. I could, I suppose, kind of glue it on here. Damn, see, this is what I'm fucking talking about. Okay. Yeah, I know I should have did this in the first place, but I wasn't thinking back when I did all this, because I was like, what can I use these for? That'd be perfect. And then I saw how ugly that mess was that I Frankenstein together. I mean, I suppose I could glue, solder the wires, cut them, solder them to this, and then just mount this in here like so, make it so. Just glue this whole, at least as far as this one goes. Just glue the whole damn thing in there and be done with it. I probably could do that. But that's going to be hard for me to do because my hands aren't as steady as they used to be. But we will see what happens. So I guess I'm just going to have to work with each project and see how it goes. So yeah, but that's kind of the idea anyway. So see, my hands just are not steady like they used to be, and it really angers me that they are not. Something like this, maybe. And then just glue those positive and negative on there. Green, red, positive, green, negative. That kind of thing. But, yeah, and it's also got to fit, so I don't think that'll make too much of an impression. But anyway, that's kind of the gist of what I would like to do anyway. I could just do it on top. I don't think it'll make a difference one way or another. Let's just have to get rid of, just bend these ones, these two outside ones, and cut the rest of them off because I really don't need the rest of them. They just come like that. So this is what I'm going to attempt to do. So bear with me, and I'm going to fight with this for a bit, and we will come back and see what happens. Alright, so what I'd like to do, which will make things easier for me anyway, is bend these pins out straight without tearing them up. Hopefully. Hopefully. Yeah, this is positive over here. So bend these out straight. Make them a little easier for me to work with, but I need to do it with something a little, hopefully, better suited. Now, where did I put that thing at? Where? Aha! I don't know how well these are going to work, but I need something that's, because I don't want to tear these up, because I only got 10 of them. If I'm tearing shit up. Well, this is going to be an interesting project, I think, because, like I said, I am not as steady-handed as I used to be, as you can tell, and that really, really bothers me, because they only get shaky when I want to do something. Come on, you. Come on. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. So, these freaking, it looks like I'm using a chainsaw to cut a steak. See, I won't dick with this freaking, come here. Maybe I should plug that in. So, positive and negative, right? Positive and negative. Like I said, I don't tear these up. Well, at least I get some out of the way. And then I'm going to get rid of the rest of these, like so. Because I don't need them. Hopefully, anyway. I don't know, these are probably too fat to get in there anyway. But... Ooh, they are sharp though. And these things are awesome for sprue cutting. These work pretty good. I've used a bunch of different versions of these, but they work pretty good. But these particular ones, the damn blades are offset, so it just doesn't cut right. But these here are a little more expensive, but they work great. So that, and then let's see. I don't know. To make the freaking opening a little bit opener. A little more opener. How about that? Let's go. I want to go in a hole. More opener. That's the game. Well, Always doing stupid stuff. So I think I'm going to use a different tip on my soldering iron than I normally use. A little more finessed type of tip. I've got these little drill bits that I can use. See, I don't know that I can use. And I'll open these holes up just a teeny tiny bit more. But you get the idea. And then I'm going to take my little saw and cut around that somewhat. I just want something, yeah. So that's my plan right there. And we'll see what happens. So here's where I'm at. I'm going to move this way over here. Still not ready for it just yet. So here's where I'm at. I used my razor saw, which these things are awesome. I love my razor saw. But they are called a razor saw for a reason. Anyway, so I took and cut with my razor saw this here. And then I was going to trim it down with said razor saw, and I'm like, wait a minute, I have a Dremel. I have a corded Dremel as well. But that thing is, yeah. Anyway, where is this at? And I've got a bunch of these little freaking cutting disc thingies. So, what the heck is all this crud? Well, anyway. So I'm going to, where's the little key? So what my plan is to trim, I could probably just cut too, but anyway, as far as this one, this is my original. I'm waiting for my soldering iron to cool down because I'm going to change tips. So I'm going to trim this down as best I can. And then when my soldering iron gets, when I change tips and get it fired back up, I'm going to solder this to this, and I wish my camera had a magnifying type depth, but I don't. But I got the 2 pins, and I'm gonna, you know, trim it down, and hopefully it will be okay. So let me get this in here first. Get her tightened down. Now I can undo this here. And you know, my hands are shaky anyway, but I'm also running on coffee. Love my coffee in the morning. And so yeah. Where all this came from? How did I cut through with that? I don't know. I'll put that over there. But these little discs are very fragile. They break very easily, and then little pieces of them fly away. But I have a whole stack of them, so there. We're going to see how well this works. I'll try to do it in my hand, but sometimes it, you know, not the best idea. So we'll see. We'll put this on here like so. Make it so. Shaky hand. See? That's part me and part coffee. And we are going to do it this way. Come here, you. There we go. So let's see how this works. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, this was my idea. So this PCB board smells weird too. Just saying. And careful here. Ah, see? Almost. Woohoo! Yeah, that could have been ugly. That could have been ugly. But this, using this, I probably should not. So now I've got the positive and negative here. Yes, I've got little magnifying goggle thingies too. So yeah, that works out pretty good actually, if I do say so myself. And you know, we just trim it down. Alright, shaky hand. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oops, careful there. Alright, well I probably should stop fucking with it. But that's the general idea. Oop, let me turn this off. But that's the general idea. You know, and then like I said, once my soldering gun gets, once my soldering iron, I switch out the, and then I can solder this to the board. Then I can solder. Yeah. So that's the plan right now. But that's kind of what I was looking at. I'm going to do one of these for most of those. But I am going to, so I don't mess this thing up too bad. But that's the general idea. I got to, oh, excuse me. So that's kind of the plan there. And well, I'll still plug it into this because it gives me a little more to work on, and then I can use my you know, helping hands to help me in my shakiness. So we're going to put this over here out the way and, you know, knock shit over and generally drop stuff, because that's what I do. That's my, that's kind of my, oop, I do have a grinding drum too, so, and some, you know, but that, yeah, I'm like, oh, I can cut it with my saw. Well, I did, but, you know, and then I thought, well, guess what, I have another one of these PC boards out, in case I make mistakes and whatnot, because that's kind of what I do. Get another one of those out. And so yeah, I know you guys are like, what are you doing? again, if you've watched my channel long enough, I may not necessarily be doing it the right way or the best way or whatever. And that's kind of the deal, because that's what I've always said about my channel. You do it the way you want to do it. It's all trial and error, man. It's all trial and error. Is this still hot? Alright. It's all trial and error. You see what I'm doing? And if that gives you an idea to do it differently, then do it. Ah, damn it. I'm sorry. They were here. Oh, I gotta find my freaking sorry tips. Okay. Alright. Alright, so here we are again, and I'm gonna try my best to, got a little paste here. See, I use this. I've got some of this, but I'm out. I don't know why I keep it. I have this. I'm not a hoarder, but I have a weird thing about throwing stuff away. I usually don't throw shit away until I've got new stuff, new shit. So get a little bit of this rosin stuff in there. Help the solder flow. I got a pointier tip. I hope that that's going to help. Come on now. Flip this. So this is something this is a work in progress, folks. Believe you me, work in progress. And I know you're probably sitting there thinking, what the fuck is he doing? Pardon my swearing. But even if you don't swear, you're thinking it. You're like, what the bleep is he doing? And sometimes I don't even know. So there we are. I love these freaking glasses too, man. Look, a little light on it and everything. So let's see here if this is going to work like I hope it does. And then I'm going to have to figure something out to... Yeah, I know. This would be a lot easier to have done when I built the model than it is. It's going to flow, probably not. Oh, there it is. It's going to flow now. Just tried to get it hot enough. Let's see if I can do this without burning myself. And this is more or less, let me try something else. This is more or less just to get the stuff. Hopefully to flow in these holes. Hopefully. Without fucking melting anything. Turn this back up this way. Probably. Let me try something else here real quick. Yeah, again, just a work in progress, man. Work in progress. It's gonna be a super nice day today. Supposedly. And well, you know, it is what it is, I suppose. Stuff. It ain't pretty. But as long as it works, that's all that matters, right? Right. And it'll be way more pretty than that other stuff that I had. And you can agree that was terrible. Terrible. Tin these real quick. There we go. Alright, so I think it's harder now. Just back over here. My soldering skills used to be a lot better. Believe me, it used to be a lot better. You look on my channel at those Nixie clocks. So, well, pretty sure I'm gonna let that cool before I start mucking with it anymore. And so that's the general idea. So I've tinned the two tips there. I know which is positive, which is negative on there. I'll put this over here real quick. And I'm gonna do more. I gotta get my glue gun plugged in. So yeah, we are going to do that. Get my hot glue gun plugged in, and see what happens. Alright. So, as I was looking at this, I took the this off, and I'll put that over there for now. Trying to figure out the best way to do it, because now I have to make this to where the positive and negative. So I do it like this, positive, negative, this, you know. So, this is going to be in the back, and again, this is my display, so I'm the one that has to deal with it. But in these, it had this little thing that pops out. Not quite sure what that's for, but anyway, maybe a mounting screw or something. Anyway, so what I thought I'd do is I would put these up through here, like so. Sorry, stop. And oh, that's not gonna work there, is it? Crud. So now I'm gonna have to figure something else out. But anyway, my plan is to put this because I drilled two little holes because it's got a, you know, a recess there. I drilled two little holes for the two little pieces of magnet wire to come up through the bottom, and then I can put that little hole back on there, and then I can, like I said, this is going to be in my display, so I'm going to put this right on top. Boom. That way the positive and the negative match up. And I'll have to do something with this other piece of magnet wire. But magnet wire is a great thing. I love magnet wire. But yeah, that's my plan. To glue this down right here. Solder that magnet wire on there. Or I might do that first. I don't know. But anyway, I got it. And then, yeah. I'm going to glue it down with my hot glue there. And this one will theoretically be done. I'll still have to test it, make sure it works. But yeah, that's my plan so far. I mean, I hope you can see that. But yeah, like I said, it's not gonna be pretty, but this will be in the back on my display shelf. And that's, you know, each one of my models I'm gonna have to do something a little different with. But this one is basically my first one to work with, and we'll see how it's going to work out. And I will definitely be doing more as time goes on, because this first one's being really time consuming. So I'm going to have to run a longer piece of magnet wire, because the way I had it set up before, it didn't. I just needed these two short pieces, and yeah, you get my point. But yeah, that's the deal. That's the deal so far, anyway. I did test it. I plugged it in, tested it, make sure, and double check to make sure which one's positive, which one's negative. And I already tinned them. The board just makes things stronger. I don't know, I still like the idea of having the PCB board on the bottom there. Well, for this one, this is how it's going to be. I still think it's better looking than this was. You know, it's a little more, I don't know. I'm going to keep these. I'm going to keep those male ends too. Because these barrel plugs do come in handy for other things. But at the time I did these models, this is what I had. And so yeah. That's what I'm going to do so far. So let me fight with this for a bit, and I shall return. Alright, so what I've done so far is I've got this on there. I hope you guys can see that fairly well. I'll put my little headlight on there. So I've got that on there, like so. I ran it through down through the little holes into the bottom of the base, and now this is where I'm at with this. And then I'm going to solder these wire ends together, and then I'm going to glue them into the bottom of the base, and then we will plug it in and see if it works. Hopefully it does, but who knows. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of the deal with this one so far. And yes, I used hot glue. Hot glue is a wonderful thing. I don't think that PCB would probably react too well with you know, super glue. I don't know for sure, but hot glue is instant, as I need it to be anyway. And yeah, so we'll be able to plug this in the back here, like so. And then once it's done and in the freaking room, it'll just be plugged in, like so. So yeah, that's the way this one. I'm going to clean this up with the X-Acto knife once the glue gets less tacky. But anyway, so this is my solution to this one anyway. And I'm going to underneath the base is going to look ugly. But hey, it will be. Basically, I'm just going to twist this up together, get a good solder joint on it, and then then I'm gonna put it in there. And we'll set it down in here somewhere. Yeah, there you see there. That just ain't gonna work. This magnet wire is great stuff, but when you're big and fat and fumble-fingered like I am, this stuff can be the bane of your existence. There, it's a little better. Yes, I realize a lot of you are cringing right now. It's like, oh my god, look at that thing. Well, again, like I said earlier, it looks way better than that other stuff. It's going to be cleaner looking. And, yeah. Way cleaner looking. Yeah, I know. I wish I would have thought of this before, or when I was building the model. Hindsight is always 20/20, right? Let's see if I can do a decent job of soldering on this stuff. This magnet wire is great, but like I said before, it can be the bane of your existence, because it's coated and it's great, but you got to get the coating off, and man, it does not like to come off very well, and it doesn't like to hold solder very well, and I burn it off with a torch. I've seen people say they use sandpaper, which that'll work. I mean, burn it off with a torch or a lighter. I know, boy with Trick Works, I think he just uses the soldering iron to burn this off. But I find that this stuff is kind of a pain in the ass for me anyway. Look at that. Does not want to fucking... Oop, there goes my language again. This one, it works. It's ugly, but it works. So, but yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to fight with this for a little bit longer. I'll get it glued in there. It's not going to be pretty, but it's underneath, so yeah, there you go. Alright everybody, so this is the deal. So this is how it's going to be set up on my bench, or in my room there, and it's going to be, this is going to be coming right off the power supply, and then this is going to be on the shelf where my models are, and then I will plug, too many cords, I will plug each model into this, and so what's going to happen is I can turn each shelf on. Let's see. I don't know if you can see the light, but it's in there. And then I can turn each, so that gives this power, obviously. Again, blue light. And then I can turn each model on. You know. So I can separate the model, and then there you go. This is how this one's lit. And so yeah, that's the plan. Is I'm gonna get all my models together, well, one at a time, and I'm gonna add this. I'm gonna take that other thing off, add this jack, and then I'm gonna have each one of these cords is 3 foot, so I should have more than enough room for each model. And so yeah, this will be closest to the power supply. And then, because then I can have each shelf on a different button, and then these will be on the shelf or under the shelf or wherever I decide to put them. And then I can plug each model into this and turn it on. I can leave these all on, turn them off here. I'm going to leave this all on, and now I'm going to have that remote switch between this and the power supply. And I can remotely turn this whole system on. But yeah, so this is my plan to take care of this rat's nest Frankenstein thing that I made before. And yeah. So yeah, there wasn't many lights in this because there's not a whole much you can do. But this is my video, one of my videos. So yeah, those are supposed to be laser blasts, but it's the best I could do, and that was not fun. But yeah, and then I got, yeah. But then again, you can see this model build in, I got it on my channel in the videos. And I hope this was at least somewhat entertaining and not too terribly, you know, boring or stupid, or, I know. I do things the way I do things. And so yeah, like I said, you can see what I did with any of my projects, see what I did. See where I went wrong or where you think I went wrong. I know, you know, I did it my way, you do it your way. I'm not going to be upset about that if you say, hey, I found a better way to do it. That's great. That's kind of the point of my channel. It's like, I'm going to do it based on what I've done and or seen on YouTube. And then I'm going to do it the way I'm going to do it. And then, you know, it works. It's much prettier, like I said, than that other thing. And so yeah, that being said, I'm going to get to work on some of my other ones and get those set up. I don't know how many I'll get done today, but I'm going to try to get a couple done today anyway. So I hope everybody has a great weekend, and see you on the next one.